A scientific experiment has gone poorly, and Subject 61 has escaped through the ventilation system. This was a known issue for 8 months, 29 days, 15 hours, 41 minutes, and 16 seconds. There are now electrical issues coming from this sector of the vault. Your individual skills are required to complete this job, and because it's during your shift. The shift manager has instructed you to find out what the issue is and see if 61 has nothing to do with it. There are 5 rooms in this sector of the vault: the observation deck, sterilization chamber, the terminal room, and 2 experimentation chambers. The observation deck and terminal room are separated by the sterilization chamber, designed to neutralize external pathogens and remove radiation. The 2 experimentation chambers are where the vault's experiments are performed. Player characters start out in the observation deck. Resting on a table is a clipboard full of percentages. At the bottom, written in red ink, is Subject 61 is a failure, and a barcode is at the bottom. There is also a wide monitor that gives an expansive view of one of the experimentation chambers through a camera situated inside the laboratory wall. You see upturned tables, chairs, and papers scattered all over the floor. There is also a red pool on the floor the size of a large dog. You press the fat button to open the door to the sterilization chamber, but it doesn't swoosh open like it typically does. You hear gears grinding through the wall, but the doors fail to open. You can attempt to pick the lock, repair the door, force it open, or press the button again and hope it works. In order for Rosaline to press the button again, a flat primary statistic check needs to be conducted. Rosaline has a luck score of 8, which unfortunately does not meet the requirement, so attempting to press the button does not open the door. Rosaline will attempt to pick the lock using her electronic lockpick. So she's going to roll 2d10, which she rolled a 98. So 98 times the combination of her skill score as well as the bonus given by the electronic lockpick, which is plus 20. So times 1.91 is equal to 187, rounded. The minimum requirement for lockpicking the door is 50. 187 is greater than 50, so she successfully unlocks the door. Rosaline enters the sterilization chamber, and there are metal tubes in the shape of an upside-down U studded with holes. Alright, so it's time for a mandatory traps check. So she is going to roll 2d10, which landed on a 36. So 36 times 1 point her traps score, which is 21, is equal to 43.56, rounded to 44. The minimum requirement for this traps check is 35. 44 is higher than 35, so she passes. There's a small terminal on the wall where Rosaline is able to deactivate the sprayers. After Rosaline reaches the end of the chamber, the door shoots open normally into the next hallway. The terminal room is a plain gray room with 2 doors on either side of a locked terminal. There is a blinking green rectangle signaling Rosaline to type in the password. Players can either attempt to use your scientific knowledge of computers to hack into it, use your intelligence to deduct the password, or guess the password outright. Rosaline has an intelligence score of 4, which is fairly low. However, she's still going to attempt to deduct the password. This requires a primary statistic check with a minimum of 6. 4 is less than 6, so she fails to deduct the password. Rosaline's science score is abysmal with a measly 16, so she's not going to attempt to hack into it. This leaves her with guessing the password outright. She's going to pick the password watermelon05, types that in, and she passes. This is because this requires a primary stat check of 8. Rosaline's primary score in luck is 8, so she guesses the password correctly. Once she's inside the terminal, it explains the true nature of Experiment 61. The researchers in your vault were attempting to make a human-animal hybrid, combining the human intelligence with the physical capabilities of a chameleon. At this point, Rosaline has a choice. She can either go in Experimentation Chamber 1 or 2. Rosaline is going to decide to go into Experimentation Chamber number 2. Inside is a 2-handed weapon sitting on a pedestal. It's sleek and metallic in design, with smooth edges and a rounded buttstock. The plaque states that it is a Tesla rifle, Experiment 63. She's going to take the Tesla rifle and put it in her inventory. Rosaline exits the chamber, then presses the button to open the door to experimentation chamber number 1. Upon opening the door, she must conduct a perception check. Her perception is 6, which is enough to pass the check, so Rosaline is able to hear a rattling in the vents when she enters the room. She knows that something is coming, so she has some time to prepare. She's going to drink beer to remove the debuffs from her alcohol addiction, take Jet and Psycho. By taking Jet, she's going to add 2 to her action points, 1 to her strength, and 1 to her perception. By taking Psycho, she's going to add a +3 to her agility, -3 to her intelligence, and +50 damage resistance. A half-human, half-chameleon hybrid crawls out of the vents and shakes the floor when it jumps down. Its hands have claws protruding from its scaly skin like long bones poking through. It marches towards Rosaline, licking its peeling lips. It's a baby Deathclaw. At this point, Rosaline has 2 options. She can try and communicate with it, or kill it. She's going to pick the latter. To see who goes first, we're going to look at the sequence for each entity. Rosaline has a sequence of 12, and the baby Deathclaw has a sequence of 12 as well. So, they have the same, but the player is going to go first. She is going to aim her M3A1 Grease Gun SMG at the baby Deathclaw's groin. To see if the attack is successful, I'm going to roll 2d10. The result of the AC roll is 81. However, we still need to calculate her small gun's score, so 81 times 1.45 is equal to an AC check of 117. The Deathclaw's AC is 13 plus 30 for a total of 43. This is because aiming for the groin makes it more difficult to hit the target. The M3A1 Grease Gun does 1d20 damage. However, Rosaline's going to use a burst shot, which shoots 8 different bullets. To roll for damage, we're going to roll 1d20. The result of the roll is 19. You might think that 19 is the total damage. However, there are 8 shots that are fired, so we need to roll 1d8 to see how many bullets connect with the target. Only 2 bullets are shot, so 19 times 2 is equal to 38. We also have to factor in the damage multiplier because we aimed at the groin. The damage multiplier is 1.5 because we did 38 damage with our grease gun. 38 times 1.5 is equal to 57 damage. The baby Deathclaw has 50 HP. We did 57 points of damage, so the baby Deathclaw is killed.